Okay, so today what we're going to be working on is lining up these pulleys to make a serpentine belt last a little bit longer. The belt that's on there, as you can see, is cut itself to where it works in position, and it was originally a 6 rib belt. So as you can tell, the alternators really are a problem. Everything else is pretty close. So what we're going to do is we're going to loosen that alternator up and try to get it spaced or twisted so it's pointing straight at the crank and sitting inward just a little bit. Alright, so what a man did is between the bracket and the block, I put 2 washers and tighten that bolt down there. And then here to line this up, right now what we have is a nut and 2 washers. And we're going to tighten everything up here, and then if this works for a couple of days and doesn't really mess the belt up too bad, then we are going to proceed to cut a piece of pipe and make a more professional looking bushing to go between the alternator and the bracket. The other thing we're going to have to do here is I have that water pump pulley spaced out. And as you can see, it is spaced out way too far. So the next step of this is going to be taking that off, but might run it for a few minutes to see if it's going to shred the belt anyway before we go and go the hassle of moving and spacing and everything on those studs. So that's where we're at. Okay, so we halfway got the alternator side figured out. Put it on, fired it up, and it immediately peeled the belt off on the power steering pump side. You can't really tell, but this is a larger diameter 90s model GM power steering pump pulley on here. And it's kind of sitting like this. So what we're going to do is we're going to, I believe, pull this bolt out of the water pump pulley, or out of the water pump, put a washer between this mount and the pump, and then down here on this other bolt, we're going to pop it out and put a washer between it and the nub that it bolts onto on the lower part of the water pump down here. So go ahead and do that. Try to offset this pulley a little bit and see if it will stay on then. What we wound up doing to fix the power steering pump side, we wound up putting 2 washers here to space it out, and then 3 washers there to space it out. And it got it to where the belt's riding almost perfectly on all the pulleys now. Doesn't seem to be shredding, not shredding up against the harmonic balancer. The only thing I'm going to have to come back and do is on the alternator, make that bushing. But I'll do that at a later date. Video kind of isn't the best, but if you're trying to adapt your AMC fan belt pulley brackets to run on your 4.0 with that you've converted to serpentine belt pulleys. That might help you some. Pulley alignment is a pain, and it isn't perfect, but it's working better than what I had. And like I said, I'll make that bushing up and then spray some paint on those washers. You can call it hacked together, but it could be a heck of a lot worse. Y'all have a good one.